What is the most offensive thing a customer has ever said to you? If you work in any kind of retail/supermarket store, then you are a verbal punching bag for old bastards or young idiots. We get a lot of rich stay-at-home mothers come in with their babies at my job, and one of them was all like, "See, you want to go to school and do well with education, or you could end up like that man, me, over there." I was just about to stutter about my degree when some young fella walks by giving 0 Fs and says, "Hey lady, not all of us can F-co our way up the food chain. Maybe taking a job like this would help take that silver spoon out your mouth and give you an insight into a day's hard work." Hero. I work taking orders for a chain pizza joint, in a call center. A lady calls to order pizza and it's a pretty standard call. "Thank you for calling, what is your address, what toppings, etc." When out of nowhere she proclaims, "I am a teacher and you are what's wrong with America. I bet you can't even spell pepperoni. Do something with your life and get a real job." I won't lie. After I finished the order, I hung up the phone and started crying. I was 18 and worked 40+ hours a week to support myself and my little sister who lived with me. I had no idea why a total stranger would be so mean to me. Today I have a master's degree. I'm a teacher. One time a guy called Medj the devil's offspring just because I couldn't infinite the right to for Hans Grisfist. This guy was trying to get insurance information from his ex-wife over the phone. I was new to the pharmacy and didn't realize I could get it off of her profile. She, not realizing she's on speakerphone, said, "What kind of effing idiots do they have working there?" Everybody in the store heard her say it. The guy saw how embarrassed I was, looked at me saying, "That's why she's my ex-wife." I'm a pharmacy tech as well. People seem to think you can pull their information out of thin air. They also like to think that when they hand you their script, you drop everything else you're doing to fill theirs now. I love the ones that say it's just a small box, can't you just slap a label on it? To which I reply, sure, as soon as I'm done slapping the labels on the 8 people in front of you. I had a customer once that came in about 9 p.m. and asked to pick up. I found it wasn't done yet, so I told her it will be about 5 to 10 more minutes. She then flipped out, screaming things like, "I called in earlier to make sure it was ready and it's 9 o'clock at night. I am not waiting 10 minutes for a prescription." Just on and on and on. My manager stepped in and finished the transaction, but before she could ring it up, the customer snatched it from her hand and walked out. So we called the cops on her for stealing. We got a call later from her demanding a written apology, or she was taking this instance of stealing to court. It was a fun to paint department at Lowe's. And one time an older black couple said I was making them wait because they were black, even though they were behind 3 people I was helping. I asked them how could they possibly think that, and they said, "Your ears turned red when you talked to us. That's how we know you're racist." WTF. My first job was as a waitress, and I had a particularly surly old man one day that spent the duration of his meal insulting me, asked me to turn around for him, criticized the way I styled my hair, and overall just gave me a hard time about every little thing. He left without giving me much of a tip, even though I tried my best to remain polite and professional. The lady sitting at the table beside me noticed how rude he was and went out of her way to compliment me and left me a $20 tip on a $40 bill. It was probably my first real-life encounter when I realized that despite the grumps in the world, there are people out there that show genuine sincerity and kindness to strangers. I had something similar happen once back when I waited tables. I had 6 middle-aged females, generally, notoriously bad tippers, sitting at a table for lunch. They were celebrating one lady's birthday. They were super demanding, dismissive, and condescending, basically had me running around all shift. At the end of the meal, they demanded, that I split the check by seat and then allocate the birthday lady's bill onto their tabs, so she wouldn't have to pay. It's not super hard, but time-consuming and kind of a hassle. Busy lunch, have to swipe cards, make change for 5 different tabs, but whatever, it's my job. In the end, I only made about 10% in tips off of the table. They all leave. I'm a bit upset about being treated like crap and not even being paid well for it. All of a sudden the birthday lady walks up to me at the door of the kitchen, hands me $20, smiles and says, "I know how they can be. Thanks." Faith in humanity restored. People are terrible to waitstaff. I once had a man order nachos that had the whole shebang: salsa, sour cream, chili, lettuce, tomato, onion, buttload of shredded cheese sauce and 2 types of beans. This dish is a huge appetizer and can easily be split between 5 people. Well, this man eats exactly half of it and then tells me it's too dry, so I offered to get him more salsa, cheese sauce, and chili, and he said, "Are you stupid?" I said it was dry, not that I need more shit to put on it. And I was a little dumbfounded, so I just said something like, "Oh, sorry sir, what can I get you then?" He glared at me and said, "Get me your effing manager, you incompetent girl." I do so, and, it being a corporate chain, I expected my manager to side with the customer. However, this manager must have also been told off because I overheard him say, "Well, you ate half of it, so that first half must have been fine. Therefore, if you are going to talk like that to me and my staff, I demand you pay for this and get the hell out of here." As the man was leaving, he asked my manager if I was new, to which my manager said, "Well, she's been here for a few months." And the guy looked straight at me. I was cleaning a nearby table, and said, "I can tell, she's never going to last if she can't figure out how to do the simplest tasks. She's a complete effing idiot. Save yourself time and money and fire her already." He was promptly escorted out of the restaurant. Best retail story: when I was at Target, the girl I was working with in electronics was ringing up a snobby 30-something with her 6-ish-year-old daughter. They obviously came from money based on what they were wearing. The mom says to the daughter, "See baby, this is why you have to stay in school, you don't want to work at Target like this girl." Without hesitation, the girl I worked with, who was only 20 at the time, turned to the daughter and said, "Actually, I am working here to help pay my nursing school tuition. I work 30 hours a week and go to school on top of that. Your mom is right though, you don't want to work in retail because you have to put up with ridiculous bitches like your mother." Epic. I would never have the balls to say something like that, and was especially moved because I was only working at Target because my economics BA hadn't gotten me a real job in the 6 months since I received my diploma. Now I have a real job in banking. Rule as a customer. When another customer is rude, I defend the clerk vehemently. Clerks worry about their jobs, customer is always right and crap like that, and are therefore easy victims for bully customers. I do not have that restriction and am happy to say what the clerk would, if he or she could. Let's all make the world a better place. A guy came up to the register and ordered a cheeseburger. You can't mess that up, right? Well, I take his money, give him his change, and a minute later his cheeseburger. A few seconds after I hand him the cheeseburger, he looks at me and goes, "You stupid inbreed piece of crap, I wanted a Big Mac." I was 16 at the time and was horrified that a grown man would shout at a freaking kid over something that was not my fault. My manager came over and ripped this guy a new one for being so stupid. The store and overheard a little girl asking her mom to buy some cookie dough in a tube. The mother exclaimed, "You don't want that, it'll give you cancer. Can't you smell the cancer?" She then proceeded to allow her daughter to smell the dough so she could experience the scent of cancer. Worst thing I had ever heard an adult tell a child. I have a very husky voice, and one day when I was working in a petrol station, this dirty old man said to me, "You, that sounds sore. I have something you can suck on." I was a baby-faced 19 at the time, so I told him I was 15. I've never seen anyone turn pale and run away so quickly before. What a dick. I used to work at Best Buy, and my first week on the job we were getting ready close up and every other cashier decided it was time to go dick off, so I'm stuck with a line of 80 at least 6 deep. A couple walks up with a TV, PS3, several games etc. Obviously the total was a couple thousand. Tell them the price, let's say $2,000. They proceed to sit there and try to haggle with me. Then the wife, who had to be 60, called me a shit stain on society among other things. I guess she thought I set the price. There was a big line at my work and only 2 of us working. So I ended up being the only one on cash with a huge line. I was going fairly quickly and still being cheerful, so I thought I was doing fine. Then this woman about 2 customers back says, loudly, "This retarded girl shouldn't be allowed to be until alone if she is going to be that slow." Also, she said this to her 8-year-old daughter. Thanks for watching Team Astro. What did you think of this video? Did you enjoy it? Have you had any experiences like this? If you have, let us know down in the comments section. Please subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos. Share this video with others if you've loved it. Fun fact before you leave. There are more possible iterations of a game of chess than there are atoms in the known universe. Lol, bye.